All right, y'all, welcome back to another one. I know it's been like 9 days, I think it is, since we did the last part. But we've been learning nicely about the Backrooms. We've been learning lots of things, lots of different stuff. If you guys haven't already checked out the gaming series that I have on my gaming channel, or rather my main channel of the Backrooms, you should go check that out. That's what that clip was in the beginning. If I put it there, I not forgot that other time. But I've been playing it. It's been really fun. We've been learning a lot about the levels. It's been really stressful, really funny, and really scary. I'm not going to lie. The Backrooms is really crazy. I got a different respect for it after playing it. The newest episode that's going to drop soon, I spent like an hour 30 looking for the exit for that level. Lots of stress on that level too, but regardless, if you guys want to see that, make sure you check it out, link in the description. And without further ado, bro, let's get into this part 3 out of 4 of the first 13 levels of the Backroom explained by Brugly. And I know I've heard you guys want the iceberg video. That will be the next series after this one as far as Backroom videos go, so hope you guys are strapped in for that. But let's go.
Level 6 is classified as class pending, so it's got an unknown safety, and the level is completely unsecured. There's also an unknown number of entities, or there might be no entities, because no one knows. Pretty much nothing besides the floors and the walls are even known about this level. The level is made up of a bunch of hallways with floors that are made out of bricks and walls that are made out of metal, and the entire level is 100% completely and utterly dark, and there's literally no way to make it brighter. Flashlights and fire, everything else that can make light doesn't even work here, and since it's so dark, it's unknown how big the level is. It could be infinite, we don't know. It's also impossible to see other wanderers here simply because there's no light, and no matter how open your eyes are, you literally can't see anything without light, so you could just walk right past someone and not even see them. There's been some reported sightings of smilers, but the main theory on that is that they're just hallucinations because people make things up when they're deprived of sight. I don't know, I'd see stuff too if I was completely sensory deprived. This level has been known to influence people's grasps on reality. Some people get the symptoms of paranoia and extreme derealization. Even though the level is dangerous, they still feel vulnerable and scared. Just the fact that it's so dark makes a person go crazy. Even the best explorers say that this level is one of the most dangerous ones they've explored, and a large portion of the people who go here never come out.
Makes sense.
There are no bases here, obviously, and the level can only be entered through the boiler room from level 5, which I covered in yesterday's video, link below. To exit this level, you have a small chance of just wandering deep enough into it and being sent to level 7, or you can just randomly bump into a wall and no clip out of it. And in some really rare scenarios, there's a random door that you could just walk through. So yeah.
So there's no entities here, because he only said there might smilers, but that's just speculation. Okay, well, if there's no entities here, this level is a little bit more bearable.
Level 6 is a pitch black level where the lights don't work and you go crazy. Level 7 of the Backrooms, aka level Thalassophobia, is classified as class 4 and is unsafe and unsecure and has a medium entity count. I wonder if you guys ever get tired of hearing me say that. You probably do. This level is a very difficult level to get through and is said to be a, quote, significant obstacle to the exploration of level 8 and further on. Nice. Not much is known about level 7 and not too many people have even explored it. But what is known is that the level is made up of 2 distinct areas. The first area is called the entrance area, and the second area is called the main area. Really creative names there. The main area is pretty much a huge expanse of water, similar to the ocean in real life, except this goes straight down to get to the different parts of the ocean. And there's a bunch of segments you can pass through, but we'll get onto that stuff later. This level doesn't have any fixed light sources at all, and there's no visible sun, and the only fixed light source is in the entrance area, and there's just a lingering dim light to the entire level. Some of the water in the main area of level 7 is extremely cold and has been compared to touching liquid nitrogen, which means you probably shouldn't stay in it for too long, obviously. Now I'm going to talk about the 2 different areas, starting with the entrance area. This is the only known entrance to level 7, and it's a fully furnished room with a bookcase, a coffee table, and a lone chair, and one single ceiling light. A quirk about this level and this room is that it's actually rotated horizontally, but the gravity keeps your feet on the floor somehow. It's also important to note that this entrance area and the main area have different gravitational pulls, so the gravity works different in this area than it does when you're in the water. Once you get into this entrance area, you'll start to feel like you're being pulled down to the water, which is below you. There's actually a hole in the floor that looks down at the water, and the gravity here is much stronger than on Earth, so that's going to be a shock. And this also means it's really hard to float on top of the water since you're constantly being pulled down. And the next part of the level is obviously the main area, which is seemingly an infinite stretch of ocean that goes out in all directions. And you get to this part of the level, like I said earlier, by being pulled from the entrance room down into the water. The entrance room is above the water, about 4.5 meters to be exact, So you drop down into this water when you get here. Nice. Now there are several islands in the water that are made up of an unknown rock. These are located about 2 kilometers from the entrance. They've got nothing on them except one.
I was just thinking all you do is swimming in that motherfucker. If there's actually an opportunity for you to be able to like get up and get air and be able to like just chill, and that makes it more bearable, but it's still pretty crazy.
Talk about later, but they're really isolated, and I don't know why you would stay there. The ocean part of level 7 is pretty much completely unexplored, and it's pretty empty for the first 1.2 kilometers down. And this area is called the daylight zone. Since it's the brightest area, you can actually see underwater and you see what you're doing. But the further you go down from the entrance into the water, the more the light decreases and the more weird stuff you'll start to see. After you pass that initial 1.2 kilometers, you'll get to an area called the twilight zone. This zone's water is full of bones and scrap metal, even some full skeletons, which are pretty much humans always. These skeletons are from humans, but they have weird things wrong with them, like elongated jaws or really sharp teeth, or no eye sockets, just like really weird stuff. There are also skeletons of massive fish floating around here. These skeletons can get up to 20 meters or 65 feet long. That's really long. This point is where the water pressure starts to get stronger. It won't break your bones or anything, but you'll be able to notice it. After the twilight zone, the next zone is called the midnight zone, and this area is about 6 kilometers down from the entrance. And there's pretty much only humanoid skeletons here. Like, that's literally all there is, just a bunch of bodies floating around. It's like a big graveyard. There's also been some reports of the giant fish skeletons here too, and they've been described by wanderers as, quote, incomprehensible in size. Nice. Now there's only one more area of the ocean past the midnight zone, and it's referred to as the abyss. This area has been deemed too dangerous to explore, and the record for the longest person exploring it was 1 minute and 45 seconds. Nice. The abyss seems to have huge piles of rocks and tar that are always bubbling, and we don't know why, but it's weird. There's also a bunch of humanoid skeletons here as well, and other than that, there's not much known about what goes on down there. But there is a rumored entrance to level 8 through an underwater cave, but this isn't officially confirmed. If you know anything about the Backrooms, you'll know that there's only one entity on level 7, and it's known as the Thing on level 7. It's apparently ridded the waters of any other life, and it's an extreme threat. It's unnaturally fast and strong, and it can detect things from really far away. It can sense, track, and eviscerate a victim within seconds. Nice. So if you want to explore this level, you're going to need to bring some kind of bait to throw away from your body if it starts chasing you. The full depth of level 7 isn't fully known, but it can be assumed that it goes insanely deeply, obviously. And
so how do people breathe? Like, that's not being explained, or do you just have scuba gear, or is it, you know what I'm saying?
There's actually been fragments of synthetic fiber that have been collected from the water, revealing that the floor of the level at the bottom of the ocean is made out of carpet. What? That's weird. Now, I did hint at a base being here earlier on one of those islands, and there's only one base, and it's called Fort Surrender, and it's located on the closest island to the entrance of the level. There's anywhere from 4 to 9 people who live here, and they live in shacks made out of random metal scraps. They apparently worship the Thing on level 7, and they don't trade, and they're hostile. Weird. To enter level 7, you have to go down the staircase from level 6, which will put you directly in the entrance room of this level. Then you'll eventually fall into the waters. There's actually a rumor floating around that you can come back to level 7 from level 8 through a puddle. I don't know why you would want to, but that's a rumor. To exit, you have to find that cave entrance underwater. It's approximately 7 kilometers down, and pretty hard to find. So to summarize, level 7 is a huge body of water that goes down extremely deep and is split up into a bunch of zones, each of which have different things floating in them, like skeletons of humans and fish. The gravity also constantly pulls you down the entire time, so if you want to stay on top, well, it's going to be really hard. Oh yeah, and there's the Thing on level 7 that will chase you down to the ends of the earth to get you. So, nice. Level 8, which is classified as class 5, unsafe, unsecure, and is infested with creatures. This level is an infinite cave system with caverns and chasms and cliffs everywhere. It's very damp, and there's almond water that runs down the walls and drips from the ceiling, and there are stalactites and stalagmites as well. The sound echoes really loudly on this level, which can be a good thing and a bad thing. Like, it can alert you that a creature is near, or it can make you more noticeable to the creatures there. And there's no natural light on this level, just there's these random spots in the cave walls that emit like a really soft bluish white light. Natural vegetation is really rare on this level, but in some spots there are vines and bushes, and sometimes there are pools of standing almond water. However, this almond water isn't safe to drink because there's an excess amount of minerals in it. There are also some pools filled with a tar-like substance that if you walk in, hands covered with tar will reach out of it and attempt to grab you and drag you to your demise. That's creepy. So for any miners watching, there are actually gold and iron ore deposits on this level, so don't forget to bring the pickaxe. The creatures here are very dangerous and are typically ones like smilers, skin stealers, wretches, facelings, hounds, death rats, clumps, reviooks, and wranglers. But there are also some more not so common creatures like camo crawlers, transporters, blossoming eyes, and watchers. And some of those creatures will be in my next Backrooms creatures video, so I won't get into their description here. Level 8 also has its own creature as well. It's called the arachnids of level 8, and these are huge spiders that are really poisonous, so that's not fun at all. There's actually an outpost here, and it's called the Meg Cave Raiders. It's got 54 members right now, and there actually used to be another town here called the town of Cavergost or something like that. It had an unknown humanoid species that populated it, and there were 78 members. They lived deep in this remote area of the level. They had crude weapons that were made from like an unknown ore, and they weren't really welcoming to humans, but their leader was. However, this civilization just seemingly disappeared without a trace, leaving its outpost walls empty. To enter this level, just find a cave entrance on level 7, and you can exit by randomly falling through the floor to get taken to level 9. There are other exits as well, but they aren't really advised. But this one is a really scary level just because more so it's physical.
But what do you mean randomly falling through the floor?
Layout. It's just an infinite dark cave with caverns and dangerous creatures everywhere. Like, that's terrifying to me, especially since I'm not a big fan of heights.
Alright, we're gonna end this video right here. I know y'all probably like, we just got into it, we just started, but hey man, you know, that these levels were interesting though. These levels were definitely interesting. Make sure y'all stay tuned for the next part. It'll definitely drop tomorrow. We're gonna finish this up so that we can start that iceberg series that I know y'all been wanting to do. Or we, as well as if anything comes up, any other videos that I find interesting to put in between, it'll be there. But most likely next part will come out tomorrow. But I hope you guys enjoyed this right here. Yeah, the Backrooms first 13 levels. I really got nothing to say about those last couple levels. I mean, the cave seems kind of creepy. I want to learn more about the ocean level. Like, can you breathe? Do you need scuba gear? Like, it wasn't too much really explained unless I wasn't paying attention. But I hope you guys are enjoying this. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment what else you guys want down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Yeah.